Yo, what's up, guys? We got a 7-game slate to break down. As always, we'll go over what we know so far. We can go over the over-unders and the spreads, and then we can get to players and their prices, and then questions at the end. So let's go over what we know so far. Goran Dragic is out, right? So that's a boost to those secondary pieces on Miami, right? Nunn, Hero, Winslow all should get a little more run, in my opinion. LaMarcus Aldridge got ruled out, so that's pretty big news, right? DeMar DeRozan is now going to be their go-to guy. They're also pretty thin up front. They got, Jakob Poeltl. They could use Trey Lyles a bit, maybe Eubanks, but they are pretty thin. Let's see. What else is important here? So Thomas Bryant got ruled out, and he's out for 3 weeks. He was someone that I was very, very much considering if he was going to play and Mo Wagner's out. But we got Thomas Bryant out as well as Mo Wag out. So I'll talk about that in a sec. Mo Wagner out as well. So this is what the Wizards are doing here. They're starting Bonga, Bertans, and Rui in the starting lineup. And those are like their 3 bigs, right? Like they don't have, Justin Fan said, they don't have anyone over 6'6" besides those 3. So Hashimura, Bertans should be asked to play big minutes. You can look to Bonga too. He's a lower usage guy, but he is min-price. So all 3 of those guys are very, very much in play. I have interest in all 3. Lowry looks like he's going to be good to go, so can't go Fred VanVleet tonight. That's definitely a big downgrade to him. Magic are starting their same 5. Yep. Kyle Lowry won't have a minutes limit. Deion Waiters is active. Don't know if he's going to play. Don't really think that's a huge deal, right? I think even if he plays, he gets 5 to 10 minutes, like nothing big. So, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But let's go over the over-unders and the spreads, and then again, we can get to prices. So Pistons, Cavs right now sitting at 214.5. The Pistons favored by 4. Magic Wizards at 229 with the Wizards favored by 1. Mavs Pelicans at 233 with the Mavs favored by 5. Heat Raptors at 212.5 with the Raptors favored by 6. Lakers Nuggets at 208.5 with Denver favored by 2. Rockets Spurs at 234 with the Rockets favored by 7.5 points. And then the late night hammer here, Trailblazers Clippers sitting at 231.5 with the Clippers favored by 9. Let's jump into it. Again, if you guys are enjoying the content, if you enjoy the videos, if you enjoy the live streams, again, this is all free content, so I'd really appreciate if you guys hit that like button. Let's jump into it. So on the Orlando side, right, there's a lot to like here. We got, or not Orlando, I should say Washington, but Orlando, there still is some to like here. It's a really good spot here for the starting 5. Isaac Fournier, Gordon, Fultz, Birch. People have been asking me about Kem Birch, if he's playable. I think he's okay. I don't think he's like the greatest value play, but it's a pretty good spot. Now, with comparing him to Rui and Bertans, I think I'm going to slightly lean towards Rui and Bertans. I like the upside in those guys a little bit more. But I don't have an issue if you want to go Birch. I just don't think he has huge upside, right? Because a guy like Bamba they can use off the bench, he's a guy that's not going to play huge minutes, but he will play like right around 20. So that's why I'm not like super, super high in Birch, but I get if you want to go there. Terrence Ross is viable off the bench, but only for GPPs, right? We know he's going to shoot the ball a ton. I think, Markelle Fultz has been pretty solid. He's playing 30 minutes a game. He's been pretty consistent. Again, it's a good spot. Aaron Gordon, even you can buy low on him. This is a really, really cheap price tag here at 5.7K. We know when he's playing well, he does have 40, even 50 fantasy point upside like he flashed here. So wouldn't mind taking a shot there. I do like his price. And even Fournier. I'm not a huge Evan Fournier guy, but he's been playing really consistent minutes. Again, this is a really good spot against Washington. So all these guys are very much viable. Jonathan Isaac as well, 6.9K, even though he's priced up a little bit in my opinion. I still think all those guys are in play. If we move on to Washington, so there's a lot to like here, in my opinion. We'll start with the bigs, right? So no Thomas Bryant, no Mo Wagner, and they're starting, Isaac Bamba, Rui, and Bertans all together, and those are their biggest players that they're starting. So I think these guys are going to have to be play more minutes. I mean, Rui was, kind of the hot hand, right? If he's playing well, they'll leave him in there, but I think he's going to have to play more minutes here at 5.2K. We know the upside's there when he gets the time, so I do like him a good amount. I like Bertans a good amount too. He's the guy that's coming off the bench, playing right around 25 to 30 minutes. I think he gets extended here a bit. So Rui, Bertans, I do have a lot of interest in those guys. You could look to Bonga as well. He's a pretty low usage guy, but they're very, very thin up front. I think he's probably gets 20 to 25 minutes. Again, very low usage guy, right? And that game against Houston, 25 minutes, only put up 11 fantasy points. So I wouldn't expect a great performance from him, but they're really thin. So he's a value guy that's in play for sure. As far as the guards, not super high in these guys. I get it if you want to go Beal, right? There's Thomas Bryant and Moag are not in there, so he's going to probably ask to do more a little bit. The matchup not necessarily the best, but the price tag very much makes him in play. My main interest here is with Bertans and with Rui. I like those guys a good amount. I think you can play them together if you want to. Isaac Bamba's a value play, but again, he's a very low usage guy. You just got to hope he gets 25 or so minutes. We move on to Detroit, Cleveland. Honestly, not a whole lot I'm excited about in this game. It's kind of a pass. I mean, the one, I guess I would consider Blake at that price. He's just been so bad. 6.7K I think it's a pretty safe option, right? He's probably going to get you 25 to 35 fantasy points, maybe a little bit more. But again, he just really hasn't flashed a whole lot of upside. Drummond at 9.1. Personally, I just don't know if I'm going to go there. I like some of the value guys. I really like Luka up top. So lineup construction, it makes it difficult to get to Drummond. So I think he's okay, but probably not going to be the way that I go. And then the secondary piece is just not for me on this 7-game slate. There's better options. On the Cleveland side, kind of the same thing. Not really excited about a whole lot. If I was going to play a guy, it would be Kevin Love at 7K. He's been very up and down, but that price is cheap. Again, kind of the same situation with Blake Griffin. It's just not super excited, but I get it if you want to go there. Everyone else, it's honestly a fade. Like Tristan Thompson, Nance, not for me. CD's going to play too. So it's a complete fade really for this game. Not playing anyone. If we move on to Miami and Toronto. So the big news here is no Goran Dragic, right? He was playing about 30 minutes a game, and those minutes have to go somewhere. So I think those minutes a little bit goes to none. He's been starting. I think he maybe pushes 30 plus. I think Tyler Hero gets a bit more here, 4.3K. That's a pretty appealing price. I know he had a bad game the last time out, but I think he's probably going to ask to play around 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. And then even Justice Winslow. I think some minutes go to him too. So all three of those guys get a boost. I know it's a tough spot, but I think the minutes go up. I think my preferred target of those three, I guess, would be Hero for his price, right? He's the cheapest of the three, and we know he does have upside. So I think he would probably be my preferred play of those cheap guys. As far as the main guys here with Jimmy Butler and Bam, they're priced accordingly. You're kind of betting on the talent, right? I think both those guys are underpriced, but it's a really tough spot. So I think I like spots elsewhere at similar prices. So yeah, I think they're okay. Am I going to play them? I don't think so. Again, you're kind of betting on the talent if you're going there in a tough spot here against Toronto. I think my main interest would be those secondary pieces, Nunn, Winslow, Hero. I think my favorite being Tyler Hero there at 4.3K. Again, Waiters at 4.1. They said he's active. Who knows if he's going to play, right? I think if he plays, he'll be limited. That's just my best guess. So really, it's those value guys I'm looking at for Miami. On the Toronto side, it's honestly kind of a fade now with Kyle Lowry back at 7.9K. Like, if he was at a discounted price at like 6 to 6.5K, I would really like him, but I think he's priced about right. Again, a tougher spot here. This game in general, not super appealing for fantasy-wise. I just think he's okay. Fred VanVleet completely off him now with Kyle Lowry back. Siakam would probably be my preferred target at 8.5K, but again, I think I like spend-ups elsewhere in other games, so this game in general, not super excited about a lot of these guys. It's, kind of those cheap Miami guys, and that's about it. Let's move on to Dallas and the Pelicans. So this is a game where I want a lot of exposure to, right? It's sitting at 233 with a 5-point spread. So a high over-under, should be close. Doncic at the top, he's my favorite play on the slate, spend-up-wise, at 11.3K. The price is coming down, and the matchup is amazing, right? Even in a tough matchup against the Lakers in 33 minutes, put up 59 fantasy points. He has 60, 70 fantasy point upside. Again, this is one of the best spots you can get here at the Pelicans, and his price has come down to 11.3K. So I really like Luka. If you want to go Harden for a little bit more, I don't hate that either. I think both have huge upside. I'm personally just going to take the savings on Luka. Again, I get it if you want to go Harden. Porzingis, also really like him here at 6.5K. He's had a couple off games, right? 34 minutes, 0 of 8. The last game only played 28 minutes, 25 fantasy points. In close games, normally he'll get, over 30 minutes. And again, this is a really good spot. The price is down on him. He's one of my favorite plays as well. I really think, you should probably play one or two of those guys. You could even play both right now. In my current lineup, I have both Luka and Porzingis in. Again, if the game somehow blows out, I probably lose, but it's a 5-point spread, so Really don't think this game will blow out. And then secondary pieces, the guy I'm interested in here is Tim Hardaway Jr., 4.6K, but only for GPPs. Right? He's very scoring dependent. If his shot's not falling, he will hurt you. But if he's shooting lights out like he was against Houston, 50 fantasy points. So again, very up and down. 49, 17, 35, 15. We know the upside is there, though, when he's shooting well. So I do have interest in him, but only for GPPs. The minutes have been up on him, too. As far as the other guys, like DeLon Wright, I think. Where's DeLon Wright? At 4.9. He had a good game that last game, but I just don't think we can expect that again. I think that's more of an outlier from what we've seen this year. So I'll probably pass there at an elevated price. As far as the bigs, like Powell and Kleber, these guys are okay. Not super, super high usage guys, but they'll play probably 25 or so minutes. I guess they're okay. Not my favorite value plays, and that's about it on the Dallas side. So really, for me, the main interest is obviously the two guys at the top, and I really like both those guys with Luka and Porzingis. I do have interest in Tim Hardaway Jr. for GPPs. As far as the Pelicans side, there's a lot to like here too. Probably my favorite play here is Lonzo Ball at 5.4. Now, he moved into the starting lineup and played 33 minutes. Got 31 fantasy points. If he's going to continue to start and play minutes into the 30s, I think he's a really, really solid play. Again, he fills up the stat sheet, doesn't necessarily have to score to get you there. This is a up-tempo game, so I do like Lonzo a good amount there, 5.4. I also like Ingram a decent amount here at 8.1. He's just going to play 35 to 40 minutes. He's their go-to guy, and I think he's a little bit underpriced. So I like Ingram. I like Lonzo. Even Drew, another guy that's going to play huge minutes, right? The thing with Ingram and Drew Holiday, you know they're going to play 35 to 40 minutes a night. So both those guys, I do like at the top end. I like Lonzo in the mid-tier. As far as the secondary pieces, not super high on. With Okafor back, that Okafor, Hayes, and Melly, that rotation, not for me. JJ Redick and Josh Hart are okay, but I think I like plays elsewhere. So really for me, I think Lonzo, for his price, is probably my favorite play on the Pelican side, but I do like Ingram and I do like Drew still because they're going to play huge minutes no matter what. If we move on to Houston, so there's a lot to like here on the Houston side, mainly the studs here with Harden, with Westbrook, and with Capella. I think my preferred target here in Houston would be Clint Capella. He was in my original build, but with the way things are going right now, I can't get him in as of right now, which I'm a little bit scared of, right? He's been amazing when he's healthy. He plays 35-plus minutes. This is a really good match here in San Antonio. No LaMarcus Aldridge, and he's just been rebounding the ball like crazy. 20, 20, 21, 19, 22 rebounds, right? He's basically a lock for a double-double every single night, and this is an up-tempo game, so this fits perfectly for Capella. I like him a lot right there at 7.8K. The two stud guards with Westbrook and Harden. Obviously, if you can get to Harden, don't mind it at all. Again, a really good spot. He had 85 fantasy points that last game in 3 quarters against Atlanta, so we know the upside's there. It's a really close call for me with him and Luka. I'm going to slightly lean towards Luka for the discount, but both studs are in great spots. Westbrook, don't mind him either at 8.8. I think he'll play probably 35 minutes in a close game, and we know he does have the upside, right? Like he can take over a game like he did like at Portland game at 68 fantasy points. So you know the upside is there with Westbrook if he's having a good night. So yeah, all three of those guys I like a decent amount with Harden, with Westbrook, and with Capella. As far as Daniel House, he's upgraded to questionable. We haven't got confirmation on that yet. If he misses, McLemore will get more run. He had a really good game that last time out. I wouldn't chase that game, though. 47 fantasy points at 34 minutes. I think that's more of an outlier game, so probably wouldn't go there even if House misses. So really for me, it's those main three guys with Capella, Westbrook, and Harden. Probably Capella being my favorite play for the salary. We move on to San Antonio. There's a lot to like here, too. Normally, San Antonio team I kind of avoid, but this is a really good spot, and we got no LaMarcus Aldridge. So, yeah, there's a lot to like here. Obviously, DeRozan is their main guy here at 7.2K. Now, the game against Detroit blew out. In 25 minutes, he still put up 30 fantasy points. If this game stays close, DeRozan's going to have a big game. He's probably going to play 35 or so minutes. And again, Houston plays at a really fast pace. So, DeRozan, I really like him at this price. There is some blowout risk, right, with no Aldridge. But I'm banking on them keeping it close. And if they do, I think DeRozan could crush that salary. Also, I kind of like Rudy Gay here at 5.2K. Again, that game blew out, so he only played 23 minutes, got 20 fantasy points. But he's kind of the number 2 right now with no Aldridge. So he's very much viable at that price. Jakob Poeltl, I've heard his name a lot here at 4.8K. I think he's very much viable. He started in the last game against Detroit in 26 minutes, got 23 fantasy points. Now, my concern is maybe they run him off the court, right? He's a bigger guy, not the most athletic guy, so I'm a little bit concerned with like the way Houston runs their offense with Capella and the up and down game, that maybe Jakob Poeltl gets run off the floor and they use a guy like Trey Lyles or even Eubanks. Eubanks had a good game in blowout in 22 minutes, got 21 fantasy points, but he's a guy that has really only been getting minutes in garbage time, so I don't think we can consider him. I think an interesting pivot off of a higher-owned Jakob Poeltl would be a Trey Lyles, right? I think the game more suits him, but we'll see. So yeah, right now, I do currently have Jakob Poeltl in my lineup. I'm a little bit worried, though, because of the way, maybe they run him off the court. So I think he's a solid play. I think he probably gets 25 or so minutes, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, he's definitely viable there, 4.8K. The pivot is Trey Lyles with 3.4K if you want to get a bit riskier. And that's kind of it. Like DeJounte Murray is intriguing for GPPs, but he's not going to play more than like 20 to 25 minutes. The guards here with like White, Forbes, Mills are okay, but I think I like value plays elsewhere. So really for me at the top, I love DeRozan. I kind of like Gay there in the mid-range. Jakob Poeltl and Trey Lyles is the bigs, right? They're going to have to play more minutes with no LaMarcus Aldridge. I currently have Jakob in my lineup. A little bit concerned, but hopefully he gets the minutes. If he gets the minutes, I think he can get you there at 4.8K. And that's really it for the San Antonio side. So let's move on to the Lakers and Denver. Honestly, not a whole lot I'm interested in this game. Two pretty solid defensive teams. This is going to be played at a slow pace, sitting at 208 over-under. Now, again, LeBron and Anthony Davis are a bit underpriced. So you're betting on the talent if you play these guys in a tough spot. Right, I think Anthony Davis is like 10.5K player. I think LeBron's like an 11K player. So they're both discounted for the price. So if you play these guys, you're betting on the talent. I don't have an issue if you want to go LeBron and Anthony Davis. Just not going to be the way that I go. Now, I would consider these guys in the late slate, right? I think if I'm going to pick between LeBron and AD, I would slightly lean towards AD there. I think his upside's a little bit higher, and I'll take the price discount. Rondo at 4.2K. Is worth a shot for GPPs. You just got to hope he hits that high end of the minutes range, right? He's played like 25 or so minutes. So if he plays that, I think he can crush that salary, but they've been somewhat limiting his minutes the last few games, so he's a bit riskier. McGee and Dwight actually do have some interest in here. Denver runs big. I don't think they want to run Anthony Davis at the 5 against Jokic, so McGee and Dwight, I think, will have to play the 48 minutes, so I think they split it like maybe evenly, like 24-24. So I think the minutes go up a bit for both these guys. And I think they're both pretty solid value plays. They're 4.1 and 3.8K. Kuzma has been really bad at 4K. I guess you want to buy low, right? But he's dealing with that, ankle injury, I think, too. So that's always a concern. Everyone else, though, not really interested in. So really for me, I think my main targets on the main slate would be McGee and Dwight Howard for their prices. Again, the late slate, I would consider AD. Rondo's a riskier option. They're 4.2K. Let's move on to Denver. Denver, not a whole lot I'm interested in, right? Jokic is just so up and down. It's just, he takes games off. He'll go on streaks. He'll have really good games. I just don't want to do it here at 8.9K. I get it, but he's someone I would probably only look to in the late slate. Jamal Murray is intriguing here at 6.6K. I think he goes pretty low owned, but we know the upside is high on him, right? He's another guy that can get you 50, even 60 fantasy points on a good night, and the price is down at 6.6K, so he's an intriguing play just because we know the upside is high. Will Barton, it would probably be my favorite play here on the Denver side. He's playing big minutes. He's filling up the stat sheet. I know it's a tougher spot, but at 6.1, I think he's very viable. So I think he would probably be my preferred play on the Denver side. Other options, Millsap, Gary Harris, I don't think I want to go there. Mason Plumlee is always a guy you can consider for value as a value guy, right? If Jokic gets in foul trouble, maybe gets a little bit more run. He'll probably get 15, maybe 20 on the high end, but we know in that time he can get us like 20 to 25 fantasy points. I think he's an okay value play. But that's really it for the Denver side. So let's move on to Portland and the Clippers, late night hammer. So on the Portland side, it's kind of Lillard for me at 8.4K. If Portland's going to keep this game close, he's going to have a big game. It's a really tough spot here against the Clippers. They're really good defensively. Pat Beverly, Paul George, Kawhi, three of the top defenders in the NBA. So that's the downside, right? I think he's only in play for GPPs. Whiteside, the price is up. I liked him in that 6 to 6.5K range. Now he's at 8K. I know he had a good game there against Chicago. Would not expect him to get 10 blocks again, though, so I'll probably pass. CJ's okay at 7.1K. We know he's going to play big minutes, but I would slightly prefer Lillard for a little bit more. I think the upside's a little bit higher in him. Melo, probably not for me. Don't want to chase that game. He has had 240 fantasy point games, but again, it's a really tough spot. I'll probably fade. And then the cheap guys, no one I'm really interested in here on the Portland side. So the Clippers side, there is a decent amount to like here. Again, it's a good spot. You just got to hope Portland can keep this game close. I think Kawhi, Paul George, Montrez, and Lou are all a bit underpriced. I think these guys, Kawhi and Paul George, will get over 30 minutes in a close game. I think both of them are pretty safe, right? And if the game stays close, they could really get you there. Montrez, even at 6.8K, right, will probably get around 30 minutes. Lou Williams, 30 or so minutes in a close game. So all four of those guys are very viable. Have no issue with any of them. I think they're all pretty solid plays. As far as the cheap guys, Zubac's okay for GPPs, right? He's a guy, he's kind of been bad recently, but we know in limited time he can get you there on a good night, like 25 or so. So I guess he's in play for GPPs as the other guy. Pat Beverly's okay at 4.5K. He's a guy that doesn't necessarily have to score to get you there, right? He'll fill up the stat sheet in other ways. And in close game, I think he gets around 30 minutes. So he's okay. So there is a good amount to like here on the Clippers side. No one stands out as an amazing play. I think if I was gonna list or rank them, I think Lou will probably be my preferred target there at that price. But yeah, like I said, all those guys are very much viable. Those four studs, and then Pat Beverly and Zubac for cheaper guys. But that's it for the prices. So let me check. Twitter one more time, see if we got any more news. Danuel House just got rolled out again. I wouldn't chase the Ben McLemore play. I wouldn't expect that 40 fantasy point game again. But let's get to some questions here. So Porzingis should feast tonight. Yeah, I really like Kristaps. One of my favorite plays. I'm not too crazy for McLemore at his price. I wouldn't expect it. Exactly. I'm not super high on Ben McLemore either. I think it's more of an outlier game, so not super excited about him. Let's see. Yeah, that's always a concern with the San Antonio guys, right? Is Popovich. He could always pull the starters. Let's see. I hope you're wrong. I have DeRozan in play. Who will have a better night, Luka or Harden? That's a good question. I like them both a lot. I'm going to slightly lean towards Luka for the price savings, but both are very much viable. But if Harden rides off his last performance, yeah. Would you chase for Tucker? I think PJ Tucker's an okay play. 4.6K. He'll probably play 35 minutes. He's a low usage guy. I think he's just more a safe play there, 4.6K. Not super excited about him, but I get it if you want to go there. Lonzo tonight, yeah, I do like Lonzo a good amount. If he starts again, I think he gets over 30 minutes. You never know, right? Because Gentry early on, he was starting him, and then the first game of the season only played him 25 minutes. So there's slight concern, but if he gets over 30 minutes, I like him a good amount there at that price. You're the GOAT. What do you think of mid-tier approach in cash? That's definitely doable too. Again, you got Luka and Harden at the top, but there's also a lot of solid mid-tier plays, right? Let's just go over the mid-tier guys. I like a lot here in the mid-tier. Paul George, Kawhi are very viable. Ingram, Capella, I like a good amount. Drew Holiday's viable. Again, those Clippers guys, any of those Clippers guys. Blake Griffin's a little bit underpriced. Porzingis, I love him. Those Magic guys, all kind of in the mid-tier. And then you got Rui and Bertans, so Lonzo Ball. It's very much viable, too, if you want to just make an all, mid-tier approach lineup. What do you think Pirtle's ceiling is today? I think his ceiling's probably 30, maybe 35. Again, I'm slightly concerned about the minutes for him just because, Houston likes running up and down the court really fast, right? So maybe he gets run off the court and maybe it's the Trey Lyles game. But if he gets those minutes, if he gets 25 to 30 minutes, I think he's a pretty safe option. DeRozan and Troy Brown or Fournier and Pirtle. Well, I'm not super excited about Troy Brown. Let's see. He's coming off the bench now, too, at 3.9. But I really like DeRozan, so I will go. I'll go DeRozan and Troy Brown there. Trey Lyles worth a look? I think he is. I think it's a risky play, but I think he's definitely playable here at that price at 3.4K. Again, the game against Detroit, he had a bad game, 17 minutes, only 10 fantasy points, but he has flashed a bit upside, and maybe again they use him a bit more than they do Jakob Poeltl. So I think he's playable for at that price at 3.4K. Do you like Bonga tonight? He's a very, very low usage guy. So you just got to hope he gets the minutes, right? Because if he gets 15 to 20 minutes, he's probably not going to get you there. But if he gets 25 to 30, he probably will, right? Very, very low usage. The game against Houston, 25 minutes, 11 fantasy points. 23 minutes, 10 fantasy points. So yeah, I think if he gets the minutes, he can probably get you there. At flat minimum price, he's okay. Not my favorite play, but I get it if you want to go there. It opens up a lot of other things. Thoughts on the Cavs, guys? Cavs are kind of a fade. If I wasn't a play, I want to be Kevin Love, but just not super excited about them on this slate. Let's see. Best 4K play. Let's see. 4K. So let's say McGee's a solid play, but he's at 4.1. Troy Brown's okay. McRae is okay. Dwight Howard, Mason Plumlee. I'll probably look to those bigs with you, like McGee, Dwight Howard. Again, Denver runs big, so I really don't think Anthony Davis is going to play a whole lot of the 5. So I guess those would be the guys to look to, even Mason Plumlee. Bertans or Rui. That's a really, I have both in right now. Bertans is 5.3. Rui is 5.2. That's basically a coin flip. I would say that's a coin flip. Just go with whatever, go with your gut there. Like I said, I have both in, and both are very similar priced. Rui plus Porzingis or Capella plus Tucker. I'll go Rui and Porzingis there. Bertans or Jakob Poeltl. I'll go Bertans there. Just hooped in Hop and Stream. What about Bryn Forbes? Yeah. What's his price? 3.8. He'll probably get around 25 minutes. The thing with him is he's really scoring dependent. If his shot's not falling, he can hurt you. So he's an okay play, but I guess only for GPPs. I would not feel confident about that for cash games. Aaron Gordon or Bertans. I'm still going to go Bertans there, but I do like Aaron Gordon a decent amount. Dwight Powell, low usage guy, but you just got to hope he gets the minutes right. He's 4K. Yeah. He's another one of those value guys that you can consider. BI or Isaac. Brandon Ingram or Isaac. I'll definitely go Brandon Ingram there. Fultz, Lonzo, or Hart. It's a close call with Fultz and Lonzo. It's really close, right? Both are in good spots. I think I'll go Lonzo, but it's really close with him and Fultz. I do like both those guys. All viable, yeah. What do you think about Nunn? I think the minutes go up on him, or Hero. Yeah, so I think my preferred cheap guy would be Hero just because of the price. He's at 4.3 with no Dragic. That's 30 minutes that have to go somewhere. I think Nunn gets a little bit more. I think Winslow gets a little bit more. And I think Hero gets a little bit more. And he had a bad game the last time out, no doubt about it. 21 minutes, 5 fantasy points. But before that, he's putting up over 20 fantasy points almost every single night. And I think the minutes go up. So I think he would probably be my preferred cheap option there on the Miami side. Let's see, any more news here? I got both. I think you can play both. Again, it's a tough spot. Toronto pretty good defensively, but those minutes are going to go up for Nunn. Unless Dion Waiters gets a lot of minutes, I don't expect him to get a lot of minutes. So I think Nunn probably gets over 30. I think Hero probably gets around 30. So I don't hate that. What do you think of this stack? Luka, Zingis, BI, Hart. Yeah, I like that. Like playing them all together. I like that a lot. Jakob Poeltl will start for LaMarcus Aldridge. Okay, so That just got confirmed. Fournier and Bonga or Alonzo and Ish. Let's see, Ish. He actually gets decent minutes. He's got to hope he has the good night, right? That last game against the Clippers got limited to only 17 minutes, but we know the upside is there when he's having a good night. I think Fournier and Bonga is probably safer, but Bonga is really, really low usage. I don't feel great about that. I think Lonzo and Ish definitely has more upside for GPPs. Derrick Rose in play, who's the best utility for 5,700. Already have Ball, Rui, and Bertans. All right, so yeah, those three guys I have as well. But let's see, 5.7K. D Rose in play. I guess only for GPPs. You just got to hope he's not playing huge minutes, right? He'll play around 20 to 25. I think he's playable at that price for sure. I just don't feel great about it. I mean, what else? So you have Ball, Rui, and Bertans at 5.7. Let's see. I like Aaron Gordon. That's a pretty good spot. I like Aaron Gordon or Fultz. I think those would probably be the guys I would look to for sure. You got Bertans, you got Rui, you got Lonzo. Yeah, so I think it would be Aaron Gordon and it would be Fultz. Aaron Gordon, you're kind of buying low, right? He's had coming back from injury, had 2 somewhat down games, but we know the upside is there, right? He can get us 40 to 50 fantasy points in a good night. So I think he's a little bit riskier option if you want to play it safe. Markelle Fultz has been playing about 30 minutes a night, has been pretty consistent. So those would be the two guys I would look to at that price point. I think Fultz for cash and like Aaron Gordon for GPPs. I'm stuck with Harrell. Should I try to move up to Capella or even Whiteside? I like Capella a lot. Again, I don't have him in my lineup right now just because, again, we got a salary cap, but I really wanted to play Capella. I love his upside. So I think Harrell's okay. I personally would probably try to get Capella if it doesn't really hurt you. I'm betting on Birch tonight to get me some big. Yeah, Birch is okay, right? I'm going to lean. I slightly prefer Rui and Bertans for a little bit more. He's a low usage guy. What is it? That game, he was chalk one of those nights, one of the early nights when Vucevic got ruled out. I think the game against the Pacers in 27 minutes got 9 fantasy points. Then the game against Detroit, 27 minutes, 13 fantasy points. So he's not a super high usage guy. He's had back-to-back pretty solid games. It is a pretty good spot, but I just like the upside more for Rui and Bertans. Lillard or Beal? I'll go Beal there. Yeah, I like the upside a bit more for Beal. Both are in tougher spots, but I'll go Beal. I'll go Brad Beal there. Nunn or Winslow? That's almost a coin flip, right? They're really, really similar price points. Nunn is 4.9. Winslow's 4.9. I'll go Nunn, but it's almost a coin flip for me. Winslow or Rodney Hood? I'll go Winslow there. Again, I think the minutes go up on him a bit with no Goran Dragic. It's a tough spot, but at this price, I think it's a fair price. So I'll go Winslow over Rodney Hood. Lonzo or Fultz, really close call again. I'll go Lonzo, but I do like both. Butler too cheap in my opinion. Jimmy Butler, yeah. So that's one where you're kind of betting on talent, right? It's a tough spot, but the price is decreased. Kind of like the same thing I talked about with the Lakers guys. They're at a decreased price because it's a really tough spot. So you're kind of betting on the talent and hoping he can get you there. Don't hate it. Just not going to be the way that I go on this slate. Thoughts? Luka, DeMar, Bertans, Porzingis, Pirtle, Pat Bev, Hashi, and Gay. Yeah, I like that a lot. You just got to hope San Antonio keeps that game close. I'm banking on it right now. If they do, again, I think DeRozan could crush. I think Gay could crush. So I do like that a lot. Bertans or Millsap tonight. I'll go Bertans. I just think the minutes are probably going to have to go up on him. They're really thin up front, so I'll go Bertans. Capella or DeRozan? I mean, I have DeRozan in just because he's a little bit cheaper, but I love both. I'll go DeRozan for the discount, but I do like both those guys a lot. Lonzo or Fournier? I'll go Lonzo for the savings, but Fournier's been great. Just because I'm not like an Evan Fournier guy, but he has been really good. It's a good spot. So I get it if you want to go Fournier there. Lonzo or Winslow, I'll go Lonzo. I'm betting all of y'all. Ross or Harris on DK, both at 5,100. I'll probably go Ross there. He's going to come off the bench, probably play around 30 minutes, and it's a good spot. Gary Harris is a guy that's very low usage, but he'll get more minutes. I think I like the upside a little bit more on Ross. So probably Gary Harris would be the cash game play because he's going to play more minutes, while Ross would be the GPP play because I do like his upside more. McRae or Ish. I'll probably go McRae there. The minutes have been a bit down on him too. I don't know. That's a close call. Like him, Ish, Troy Brown. I don't feel great about those guys, but they're all just okay. So I would say go with your gut. I really don't have a strong take on McRae versus Ish. 5,600 left. Best utility, Lonzo. If he starts again, which I assume he does, and if he gets over 30 minutes, yes, I think, what was it? 5,600. So, I mean, Fultz is viable too if you want to go him over Lonzo. Again, it's a really close call with Fultz and Lonzo for me. Bertan's there, 5.3K if you don't have him. Rui at 5.2. Capella, Hassan Whiteside. I'll go Capella there. It's a better spot, and I just like his upside a bit more. I like Westbrook going to go off tonight. Yeah, so he's interesting because I think he goes a bit lower owned. I don't think a lot of people are going to play him, and he's another guy that if you're building that mid-tier approach, you can definitely go that way. So don't mind that at all. Again, we know Westbrook, when he's having a good game, he can get us 60, even 70 fantasy points, and he's at 8.8K. GPP, Porzingis, or Capella. I'll take the savings with Porzingis, but I love both those guys tonight. I'm rolling McRae. Okay, yeah, no issue with that. Admiral Schofield or Isaac Bamba at min price. Yeah, so Admiral Schofield will actually probably get a bit of run here. It's tricky because I would probably prefer Schofield, but I just don't know how many minutes he's going to get, right? If I knew they're going to play similar minutes, I would definitely go Schofield because he's a higher usage guy. I guess probably the safer option is just to go a Bonga there at min price. But if you want to get risky, I think Schofield has more upside. It's just whether or not he gets the minutes. Don't pick Harden, 12.5 for 70 fantasy points. Get 6,200 players. I get 40, 50. Yeah, so I kind of agree with that, right? I like a lot of the guys in the mid-tier. I am spending up for Luka, but there's a lot of really solid guys in that, 5 to 7K range. Why is nobody talking about Jackson Hayes? Well, because they have 3 bigs now for the Pelicans. So before, early on, that Okafor was out, but Okafor's been back. Now, we did get limited to only 9 minutes, but before that, played 27 minutes. So the minutes are a bit up and down. They have, where's Melly here? Melly here, 3K as well. We'll get a little bit of run, right? And Jackson Hayes at 4.4. I get it if you want to go there. It's just the minutes aren't necessarily secure, in my opinion. If I was going to play a big for the Pelicans, it would be Hayes. But, again, they got Okafor. They got Melly they can use. So that's why I'm not, super, super high on him. I'm running with Bonga, Hardaway, Doncic, Ingram, Rui, Hero, Bertans, Capella. Yeah, I like that. You just got to hope. Again, Bonga, very, very low usage guy. You got to hope he gets you there in 25 to 30 minutes. You think Kawhi and PG put up similar numbers tonight? Yeah, it's a really close call with those two guys. I think it's pretty similar. McRae or Ish, again, that's almost a coin flip. I guess McRae, but I don't know. Fournier, Lonzo, and Pirtle, or DeRozan, Fournier, and Bonga. I just love DeRozan. I guess I'll go DeRozan, Fournier, and Bonga. Again, you just gotta hope Bonga can get you hopefully he can get you 15 to 20. Damien, I literally just asked that. Oh yeah. Like I said, McRae versus Ish. Don't have a great feeling on that. But we're locked up, so I can go over some ownership here in the GPPs I'm in. And then you got here Hood, Beverly, or Hero. It's close to Beverly and Hero. I'll go Hero there, but I think Beverly's an okay option too. But I like the upside a little bit more with Hero. Thanks as always, bro. Yeah, of course, man. Hopefully we get a better night. Last night was, I think Big T tweeted it. It was the worst NBA slate this year for sure. Just so many games blew out. Chalk didn't get you there. It was a really weird slate last night. So hopefully the slate is better. So it always takes it takes a minute or two for it to go. I've got Beal, Rui, Birch, and Fournier. I'll know how this night is going to go early. Yeah, so don't mind any of those guys. Don't have an issue with it. Again, you will know how your night's going for sure. All right, let's go over ownership. We'll talk about the $55 one I'm in. So Bertans is at 48%. Rui is 76% in the $55 tournament. That's who I got right now in the early game. Let's look at the $10 tournament, the big one. We got Bertans at 39 and Rui at 60. So in the higher dollar tournaments, more people are playing Rui and Bertans. Again, I really liked both those guys. Let's look at some other ownership if I can find any in the $55 tournament. Beal's 50%. Wow, that kind of shocks me. I mean, I did like him at that price, but 50% owned for Beal definitely surprised me. Aaron Gordon 21%. So looks like a lot of these people are playing the guys in the early games. Fournier 26%. Blake Griffin at 8%. The fact that Brad Beal's 50% owned. That definitely surprised me a bit. I'm not saying he's a bad play. I didn't think it'd be that high owned. DJ Augustine got 7% ownership. Thanks as always. Thoughts on Okafor? It's just a GPP flyer. You just gotta hope he gets some minutes. If he does, he can get you there. But again, the minutes have been all over the place. Harden or LeBron tonight. Maybe for leverage. I mean, I'll go Harden of those two. Actually did all right last night. Nothing major but profitable. Yeah, so I made a 3v3 pivot last night where I pivoted off Sabonis, Kai Bowman, and Pascal to get Bruno, Levine, and Jabari Parker. So obviously, my night did not go well. Thanks to always thoughts. Yeah, okay. I've got Melo in all 9 slots. Easy cash. So I guess my night will go, let's see Bonga. Bonga's 25% owned. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people are high owned in these early games. I got to hope Beal doesn't go crazy. If he does, it could be tough for me. Markelle Fultz, 7% owned. Let me try to find Beal in the $10 tournament. I'm surprised he was 50% owned in that $55 tournament. Beal is 38%. So again, the Sharks are playing more Beal in the high dollar. Favorite player under 4K. That's not a lot of players I'm really excited about. I think it would probably be one of those bigs. Like, I mean, McGee, if you can get to him at 4.1. Where's McGee? Yeah, McGee's at 4.1. You could look to Powell. You could look to Dwight Howard. Again, Denver runs big, so I kind of think they split the center minutes. Mason Plumlee even. I think I'd look to one of those guys. I mean, you could get a little bit riskier with one of the Washington guys with like Ish, Troy Brown, and McRae. I think one of those guys, maybe two, of a good game, but the minutes are kind of all over the place. So those guys are viable as well if you want to get a little bit risky with Ish, Troy Brown, and McRae. Oh, well, never mind. That game started. Don't know what I'm talking about here. But yeah, I think I would probably look at those bigs. Beal's 40%. Yeah, Bonga 17% my tourney. Beal 39% pick and roll. Whole game chalk basically, other than Birch. Right. So it's a pretty chalky game. Again, I just got to hope Beal doesn't go off. I don't think I ate enough chalk tonight in my lineups. I'll spread it out way too many places. That's not a bad thing, right? Like, went with Fournier. He's pretty damn good. Yeah, he's been really good. So I don't have an issue with that at all. But yeah, I think I'm going to hop off here, guys, get some food. So Thanks again for coming to check out the stream. I will be uploading my video for the Wednesday slate later tonight on my YouTube channel, so be on the lookout for that. But thanks again, guys, and I will see you later.